I don't know why that is so weird to see myself. All right. So guys, if you're just joining in, which I believe I have one person watching now other than myself, that's kind of weird to see me watching myself over here. So today, or I guess tonight, seeing as we are currently at 9 o'clock at night here, we're going to be putting on stepper dampers here, and these are for your stepper motors for your 3D printer. I already installed a set to the one to my x-axis and one to my y-axis. Now I had to do a lot of work to get there, but it is a huge difference. Now this is not the kind of thing that people make claims and then you go to try it and there's no difference. Like it's totally worth it. No, these are definitely worth it. So I decided to order some more since I didn't have enough to finish the project at the time and actually needed the printer. And my phone is going to be making all sorts of crazy noises here on me. But we're going to install the rest of these, and what I've done, as you can probably tell, and I've put this on my articulating arm here, and I'm going to see if I can show you this stuff. It might take me a bit of camera jerking to get around here. But, come on, aim down. Alright, let's put it there. Alright, so what I've done is I've already taken off. Let me get some light where we're working here. So I've already taken off one of the motors here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stepper damper, find one here, between the top of the motor and the bottom of this base. Now this is still going to go up, and there is enough clearance behind this gantry piece here that even if I slide this up the height of the damper, it'll still work. Now, I did make a couple modifications rather than just straight installing it. One is to take this stuff. Now this is what you use to line tool drawers with. It's a foam insulator. It's maybe an 1/8 of an inch thick or so. And it just adds a little bit of vibration dampening. It's not great. It does compress almost all the way, but it'll give you something. The reason for this is that the bottom of this motor sits directly on the metal frame down here. So this will simply sit in here as a pad, and then the motor will sit on top of that. The stepper damper will go on top of the motor, the plate on top of the damper, and then I'll reattach onto the Z-axis frame and complete everything and make it done. So the only place this will be touching that's left is going to be the back of the motor back here behind the plate. That's it. But this should be working just fine. So this is all going to be in real time. Unfortunately, I've already taken one off. The other one I have not touched yet. I wanted to be able to keep my gantry in place. So everything's ready to go. We're just going to go ahead and put this together, and I'll show you how long this takes. So I've already loosened these up. Let's go ahead. I would try to put the camera in a better place, but I don't really think I can. So when they send you the stepper damper, they actually send spare hardware. And I'll show you that here, right here. So they send you a bag of 8 more. I got a package of 4 stepper dampers. They send you 8 tiny little bolts. And they're short for a reason. There's a specific way these go on, and I'll show you why. You know what, I'm gonna see if I can't just. I gotta break out my better toolkit. It's taking too long. Let's see. Yep, that's the one. All right. Oh yeah, a million times faster. Okay, so I want this still to aim the same direction. So the thing with stepper dampers, if in case you're curious how these install, there are 4 holes, but 2 of them are pre-threaded. The other two are slightly larger and they're not threaded, they're actually drilled completely through. The threaded ones you want to put on one direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this off and lay it the same direction here, like this. And the threaded ones I'm going to put down on top of the we'll go down on top of the stepper motor. And where is... I'm sorry, I had that backwards. I told you it's a little late, it's 9 o'clock. This is what we get for live. I had to think about this for a minute. So with these, we can take two, since pretty much the ones that came off of here are the same. I'm going to put one in here. These are the non-threaded holes. And put them in like this. And I'm going to tighten these down just a little bit here, and then I'll bring it up and show you. Okay. So here we have, these two are the threaded holes here, facing up. These two are not, and it's fine. It's not gonna do this little wobbly thing when you're done. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna tighten this down all the way. Give them a little bit of torque, make sure they stay. And if you notice from the height that the tops of these bolts don't go past the surface of the stepper damper. So these will clear when you put on the next piece. So now that we have that, we're going to take our top frame, put it up here, and then as you'll notice, now you have access to the other two holes. These are the ones that are pre-threaded. With these, you start from here and you simply tap right into them. Now I'm going to continue to use the ones that I had before. I could use those. They are just a hair shorter, not enough to really matter. But we're going to do that. So through the top and into the pre-threaded hole. And same with this one. So go right in here. I'm going to kind of push this, and I want to make sure that this is as close to the back of the thing as possible, because I want to have this not touch the frame if possible. That's the idea. So when we have it back, hold it. I'm going to tighten them down. Come on, get off. Like that. Okay. Now this is what you should be left with. So you'll have the stepper damper in between. This plate will have risen up by quarter inch or so. And everything else should all be in line. These screws that you put in from the top should not hit. Now they may be close, but they won't hit. So you can test this out. You can actually grab this, hold the stepper, and there's a little bit of play in it. That's where your dampening comes in. So we're going to take this and we are going to put it back on. Make sure you line up these back pieces here so they go in the channel. Just like that. Where's my other screwdriver? Oh man. You not do this to me now. Right under my nose. Of course it is. All right. So we're going to take these and we're going to screw this back on. Now I'm actually going to push this down a little bit. Like that. And tighten that one on. There we go. So now we have a much tighter, much more dampened Z-axis motor on this side. And it does have a little bit of wiggle to it. It's not bad, but remember the Z-axis doesn't do a whole lot of moving around. It's simply straight up and down, and only in very small increments. So this is actually fine. We can deal with this. Now what I have to do is we're going to test. We're going to put the threaded rod here, back in, and we're going to test to make sure our height still works. And I do want to make sure that I can get this on. Now I can do that no matter what, but I want to make sure that the height to be able to attach into these bearing pieces up top still works. So, probably not going to see that on video. It's going to be just a little bit high. Okay. So yes, I can fit it in, actually pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and take this guy, take my little, my coupler here for the Z-axis rod. We're going to drop him on, and I will get him sorted out. Like this. All the way to the bottom because it's going to have to be. And let's take the top here and just tighten down the top one like that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put my top piece on with the bearing on top of the threaded rod up top. That, and reattach this one. There's one. Okay. Now I have just a little bit of play in here. It isn't much. But that's fine, as long as it's still smooth and mobile. And they don't give you a lot of clearance on these, unfortunately. Now, in case you're wondering how far up this gap is, how far up I had to move this sleeve, I actually had to cut out some of this insert here. It was only a 1/4 inch of insert that I had to cut out. And so if you're curious on the shape, there is the shape of this thing, just in case you wonder. So, the drink. All right, so we need to get this bottom reattached. Need a thicker one here. It doesn't matter how I do it because I still need to level the gantry again. And that's going to be too tight to do on the short end. I really don't like the tools they come with, unfortunately. Come on, get out. I really do need a better set, but that's what I've got. As long as I don't strip it, I can do the other side. Okay. So I don't feel any resistance, and honestly, there's next to no travel up and down now. It's almost perfect. Okay, so this side should be done. And there is just a little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and see if I can't push it down just a little bit and retighten it. Okay. Like that. Much better. That's quite a bit tighter now. All right. So we have one side completely done, and of course it took a little time. I was just explaining stuff to you. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the other side. Then we're going to test this thing by turning it on, and we're going to see how loud it is. We'll just do a homing sequence or something, which is what I've been using to test. All right, so we have our stepper motor disconnected over here. Get my cable out of the way here. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so now, there we go. Let's go ahead and take this one off. I've already got the bearing off from up top. Now we're going to come in here and disconnect 1, 2. I'm sorry, I need to put this one away. I don't need that one. And we're going to take this bottom coupler off here. Maybe. All right. These are some really cheap tools. Oh, well, that dropped a lot. Come on, get off. There we go. All right, so we'll take that piece off and we'll take out the threaded rod completely, just because it's more of a pain to hold it up. And it could probably use a little cleaning, but that's all right. All right, so now we have our next stepper motor here, and we're going to do the exact same thing on this one. Okay. So we need to crack the 4 on the top here, like that. I would get you guys a little bit closer, but camera's already half over my head here. Here, I'll try to do this for you. All right, we'll try to do this one a little bit quicker to show you just how long it would actually take. So again, the pre-threaded are going to face up, and it doesn't matter whether it's sitting this way or this way. It doesn't matter. Obviously, it's only going to hold on with 2, so that's fine. So we're going to put in 1 there, do 1 here. These are cheap plastic tools, so I really can't do too much with them. Okay, just confirm, make sure that's on there solid. There is some play in that, that's pretty nice. I'm gonna take this guy. Remember, the screws go opposite the plug. Since the pre-threaded is on top and nothing in this plate is threaded, we need it to go on this way. Let's get the hair out of here. I like to keep all my stuff clean. We'll go ahead and put on one of these, like that. And put one on back here. And we'll go ahead and tighten that down. Okay, so now we have a second one completely finished. All we have to do is take our little piece of tool drawer insulator or matting. I'm going to put that down. What will end up being underneath the stepper damper. I'm actually going to trim a little bit off of that. So that can go in there like that. And then of course I need to take off an amount of this trim piece. So I'm just going to dig in with a screwdriver here and pull a little bit out like this. And I'm going to cut off visually about 1/4 inch or so. That's all it needs. Actually, it's almost exactly what I did last time. Dang, that's pretty good for eyeballing it. Tuck it back in. Now you can slide it and compress it up in the track. I would try not to. I don't want it bunching up behind the X gantry and making it harder to move up and down. So we'll leave that as is. Now we can take this. I'm going to set them on here as soon as I straighten up these guys in the back. Like that. Come in here. I'm going to push down like that. Tighten them down. Same with this one. Tighten him down and check. There's still a little bit of play, and actually there's more play than I would like there to be. So, loosen up just a little bit here. And retighten. And for some reason, this is now not sitting as tight as the other one did. So what I'm going to do to solve that, I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you really need to. So I'm going to take this angle piece and I'm going to bend them back a little bit just to kind of force the back of this tighter up against the frame. Let's use, I don't have, well, I guess this will work. All right. Okay. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's just ever so slight backwards, which will create a little bit of pressure on this, which is all I want, just a little bit. Let's go ahead and put our damper back down. Straighten these guys out. All right, you can go backwards. All right. That's much better already. Way, way, way better. Okay. So now we effectively have two of them put in. We're going to go ahead and we're going to reconnect our threaded Z-rod here. Start that. He's down. Take our coupler again. That. And we're going to tighten the coupler down. Why is there hair over everything? God dang. All right. So I'm going to tighten this one. And my thing is already skipping, which is not a good sign. Yeah, it's next size up. Let's use this. Okay, I am just gonna, I'm throwing these out. I'm so tired of them stupid things. Do not like them. Okay. Now we need our bearing to go up top. Should fit nicely. Prepare this one. Come on, guys, turn the right direction. All right. And we're gonna tighten this one down. There's one. And there's two. All right, so obviously we have a bit of play in this one. So the rods may not be equal. I don't want there to be too much hopping around in here. So I'm going to actually tighten this down when it's essentially in its highest position, so that there's as little jumping up and down as possible here. So we'll take, that's a different size. What? I think I came across that issue another time as well. There we go. Okay. Test that. Test that. Sounds like we're good. Go ahead and put my tools to the side here. As you can tell, I really need to clean the desk. We can put a few things away because we are essentially done. Just like that. And I do have 2 more. Now these, since all of the motors on the E12 now have stepper dampers, the only things I have left to do, let me back up here, are over there on the A8. So I've done the X-axis. I'll have to do a lot of customizing and cutting to make the Y-axis work, so the heated bed slide is going to have to do something else. And I have yet to do any installs on the Z-axis. So the dual Z-axis are going to get these guys. So probably not tonight. I do still need to be able to print some things, so once I get the E12 up and working, then these can go on the A8. But in the meantime, we're going to, I'll send you guys back here a little bit like this. Get an overview of what's going on. And you're looking right at my camera mount. That's fantastic. That always looks good. Okay. So, spare parts. Give me a second. I'm just going to put a few things away here. And I do also want to mention a huge shout out to Tim Hoogland. I know I've mentioned him a number of times before, but he has been absolutely awesome in my journey to upgrade all of my stuff. So PTF E2, the Easy ABL, DirectWire V3 for the E12 here. I've bought a lot of stuff off of him so far. And recently I had a little bit of a hiccup. I got sent the wrong part. Not a big deal. It was just a fan. And he was kind enough to send me a DirectWire V2, which is fine. This is the slightly larger version, Easy ABL, that I can use for whatever. Now, obviously my E12 already has Easy ABL in it, so this is eventually going to go on the A8. I mean, it prints really well even without it, but I would like to maybe give him just a little bit more, and that's really cool. He sent me one of these for my trouble and probably all the money I spent with them. But yes, he's got absolutely amazing parts, so I have no problem going back to him for more. So my stepper dampers here, let me just add those to the list. Okay. Again, another thing I bought from Tim Hoogland, TH3D, was another 40mm Sun-On fan. I have yet to figure out exactly where I'm going to place this, but I think it's going to be a layer fan upgrade for the E12. I'm still using the standard 4010, I think. I want to say it's a 4010 side firing fan that comes standard with it. And it doesn't put out a lot of air. It's kind of due for an upgrade. That's what this is going to be. So just go over a couple other things that I think are kind of nice to know. So I have begun using on the E12, since obviously I've got his build plate here. Let me very gently bring that forward here. So here's TH3D's build plate. It's definitely a good build surface. Glue sticks, buddy. These things are amazing. Now you go through them awful fast, and they do, if you put it on too thick, they're kind of hard to clean up. But these will make large surface area prints much easier to get off of the print bed. Nothing special. You simply clean the surface, use some isopropyl alcohol. I use 90%. Go ahead and just rub this on the area where you know your print's going to be. You can be a little bit over. You can be a little bit under too if you want to be. It's not bad. But this will make things a lot easier to get off. Believe me. And I'll explain why. Because I went ahead and I bought a whole pack. I needed them. They go through that fast. So, the other thing you'll want is something like this. Now this is an extremely thin, and it's actually tapered. It's thicker up here than it is here. It's a little bit thinner. It's not knife sharp. I'm not gonna cut myself on the end. I'm gonna say 1/16 of an inch or less. So once you can manage to get this under your build, it's extremely flexible, and you can get all the way under from both sides, and it's much easier to use. And you have a little bit of offset so you can actually hold on to it. Invaluable tool, I'm telling you. All right. Yes, I want to point out something else. I'm just going to kind of go over some of the things that I have. And I keep getting notifications. You'll just excuse me for a second. This is on my phone, so I'll deal with emails later. Don't care. All right, that's how you do it. Because I'm doing all this on my phone, so. Shoot, okay. So I found this on Thingiverse, and this is a filament filter, or well, filament oiler, technically. So what this does is it prints on the bed, just like this, and then you pull off just a couple supports, mostly like under the tab here, and this, you put in some foam, and it latches and goes around your filament. You just clip it on. So you don't have to remove the filament to remove the oiler, which I had an old one that was like that. This, and then when you're done, you literally unclip it and keep going. Now that was one I'd made. I have one over here. Pulled off my A8 here. Just like this. So I cut a little bit of foam in here from a foam sponge, brand new. I wanted to be clean, and I went ahead and put 2 drops of canola oil, kind of spaced them evenly in the center of each of these pieces of foam, took a paper towel and just kind of pushed it in so that it mixed in. Now I've still got some on my finger, so I know it has some, but I think you probably use some more. So with this, literally just take it. I don't think I have another piece here. I might have some scrap. Yes, I do. It's really big, that's right. So with this, and you can probably tell some of the dirt that's there in the middle, so it has actually cleaned up some of the filament that's been through. So you literally, take this, let's do this so you guys can see it, put it on, and close it. And that's it. Now when you're ready, you don't have to take the filament off of the spool or take it out of the hot end. You just open it up, take it out, you can replace it, you can give it some more oil, whatever you need to do, and then clamp it back on. You can move it from machine to machine. It's absolutely awesome. This is one of the best things I've ever made. I'd like to make it a little bit better quality, I think. So I may rework the guy's STL, but this is a really good thing to have. It definitely helps things. It helps printing, and if you put on too much, you'll notice that out of your extruder you get a lot of black goo. I had that problem the first time. I actually put on way too much, because heck, I didn't know how much to put on there. Nobody ever says. Literally 1 or 2 drops per side. Take a paper towel, just wrap it around the end of your finger, push, push, that's it. That's all you need. It doesn't have to be soaking. Your filament doesn't have to come out all nice and shiny as it comes through the other end of the filter. That's not what it's for. A little bit, as they say, a dab will do you, right? Okay, so we have that. I'm actually going to put this back on really quick. Hang on just a second. Put that back on. All right, yep, it was that fast. Okay, sorry for my crazy mess here. So we're going to go ahead and reattach the cables and everything here. I'm going to level off my gantry again, and then we are going to test out and see if this thing has made a noticeable reduction in sound. Now this phone actually can do pretty well judging sound, so I'll you guys just kind of have to play it by ear. Come on, thread on there. Okay. That would be my right Z-axis, I believe. Yes. All right, so we gotta turn this all around. Gotta plug this in. We will level the gantry here in a second. Remember, this is all the workspace I have compared to some people. It's not a big room whatsoever. It's literally a 12-foot by 12-foot room. That's all I've got. I know. So let's go ahead and keep this going. The cable's back. Now I do have, you might not be able to see, let me turn this around. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I figured that thing was going to be in the way. But I have these little feet here, which are double layered foam, like that drawer insulation. It's double layer of that stuff to help lift this thing off and give the rather solid rubber feet on the bottom of the printer a little more vibration dampening ability. So we're gonna go ahead and take this guy. I'm gonna back. The camera's gonna be out of frame here for a second. Let me just get this. Back into place. Foot down. Okay. Alright, so we should be good there. I am going to have to do this. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. I'm going to turn this. Sorry about this. If you're getting all dizzy, just bear with me. I have to kind of try to get this phone to aim the right direction here. All right, that's definitely much better. Okay, now I can get you guys in a little bit closer. We're gonna aim down just a hair. All right, so we have the printer here. Cables are on the right place. Hate this dust, it kills me. All right, let's plug her back in. Come on, I've plugged this in a million times, thank you. And in case you guys are wondering, I am running TH3D's U1R2 1D. His newest firmware. I've taken a small hiatus from building my own. He's actually got something that works very well, and I just don't have the time to make a new one right now. So we're gonna be doing this. But I have got my Z offset, which is different, by the way. If you switch from the old version to the new version, the Z offset is not handled in the same way, so your Z offset value, if you wrote it down, it's not going to be right. It won't work. Just a heads up, guys. All right, let's go ahead and obviously you can tell My filament is not there. This is all I had left of my pink. It's pretty much dead. So yeah, we're gonna have Optimus Prime stare at us for a little while. How's that? That's pretty cool. All right, so I need to level my gantry, and for that, I really need a better system. I actually could print something, but this is how I do it, so just bear with me. It's gonna take me a second. I can already tell you this is gonna be a lot better. All right, so I'm gonna center mine on 1. Like that. Right there. Okay. So now that my gantry is level, so I'd turn this thing on. I'm gonna get you guys in a little bit closer. Hopefully I'll be able to see this as well. I'm kind of running out of space here for myself. All right, so I'm going to shut up and we're gonna go ahead and watch this thing do a hum. And listen to how quiet this is. Okay, that's it. Now to be honest, I didn't even hear it. Now there is a little bit of rattle, and that's because there's that 40-10 or 40-15, whatever it is, that side firing fan has a little bit of a problem. I actually hit it by mistake, and I've kind of broke a tab off, so it kind of rattles now. So that's part of the reason for the new fan. If that weren't there, this thing would have just made absolutely zero noise. So I'm actually going to disconnect here. I'm going to take the phone out. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer here. And we're going to get to see, or hear, maybe, how loud this is in real time. So you can kind of hear the fan, sort of. In fact, let me turn this off and turn it back on so you get to see if you can hear the fan. Okay, so that's the fan. The fan on this is actually, it's the upgraded power supply is what's making all that racket. But it's actually probably the loudest thing here. So now I'm going to hold the phone probably a foot away from the center of the bed here so that we're pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and do a homing. I'm going to move this as far away as I can just so it doesn't interfere. I'm going to not talk, and we're going to listen to how loud it is. Hopefully you get an idea. All right, and one more time. I'm actually going to come over here so you can hear the x-axis and the z-axis on this side, which would be the left side, so you get an idea how loud those are. And remember this, as you can probably tell here, I do have a stepper damper for my x-axis as well. Here we go. yeah, that's all there is to it. I'll bring you one more time. I'll bring you back to the y-axis, all the way in the back here, and give you guys a chance to hear what that's like. Let's go ahead and auto hum. So yeah, even when you're right up next to it, nothing. This thing is quiet. So yes, as a general question, do stepper dampers work? Yes, they actually work very well. Much to my surprise and very much to my satisfaction, actually. So yes, would I recommend getting them? Oh yeah. Now, if you happen to have an E12 here, and you're going to install it on the y-axis, there is something you're going to have to do. And I'm probably going to have to manually show you with the phone here, but good thing the camera's on the bottom. If you see right there, there's actually a washer and a rubber seal used in a garden hose that actually are used to make this thing, well, if the light were exactly, in our face, would be fantastic, which are actually used to make this gap a little bit taller. If it wasn't for this gap, that motor would literally be sitting on the bottom. And it's, I don't know, an 1/8 of an inch or so off of the glass. It's kind of deceptive because I have a glass desk here. But if I didn't raise it up, it would be sitting on the bottom, just, just banging into the glass desk or the wood desk or whatever. So you do have to prop these up a little bit. You could print a, I'm going to say, 3/16 inch spacer. I wouldn't go much above 3/16 because I'm already using a very small portion of the thread left on the bolt that came with it. So I didn't have a whole lot of room to raise it up. This is about as far as it'll actually go. Any more than that, and the bolt actually didn't even reach the threads. So that's about the most you're going to be able to do with that. But it definitely helps if you want to install that y-axis stepper damper. You have to. So with that, I really don't have anything else. I'm sorry I've not been putting out a lot of video content here recently. I have been meaning to, and I promise I will be getting to something very shortly. In fact, give me just 1 second. I will tell you. I'll try to hint, I think. Let me check something. So I'm going to go to... I'm going to check my bank real quick. Okay. So I might have to wait until tomorrow to order it. So some of you might know that I have the Acer Predator 17, the G9 793 78CM. That is my current laptop. It's, in all seriousness, it is a powerhouse. This thing has been just an absolute beast for about as long as I can remember. Show you that, I guess. This thing has been stunning in every aspect, and honestly, it still outperforms just about anything, honestly. Come on. Stay tight. There we go. So, of course, being me, I wanted to upgrade. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but there is another Predator series. There's a new lineup. There's actually a couple. And I'll give you a hint. I'll let you kind of sift through this here. There's the Acer Predator Helios 300, the Helios 500, the Triton 700, and the Triton 900, which, in case you guys didn't know, is scheduled, I believe, for either later this year or first or second quarter of 2019. And they're not cheap. And I will give you another hint that the amount I'm spending on said new laptop is going to be, gosh, I'm cringing on this one, 4-digit, little over 2,000. Yep. Unfortunately, I will not be doing a giveaway for this. It's just too expensive. I'm actually going to end up selling this one. I'm not exactly sure on the price yet. Don't quote me on this quite yet. But in the meantime, while I have both, I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison between this one and the new one. So we'll be comparing performance, read and write speeds, NVMe, graphics, CPU, pretty much every aspect I can think of, and it's going to be split up into multiple videos. But between those two, and hopefully this gets some decent views, because guess what? We are at 900 and, you know what? I'm actually going to go look this up really quick. 912. Cool. All right. So we are at 912 subscribers, almost to 1,000. I had a spurt of people subscribed just the other day. It was pretty cool. I kept getting notifications one after another. It's pretty sweet. So we're almost there, guys. Almost. Once I can monetize the channel and I get some decent views going, I can afford to buy some more things. Maybe not quite this expensive, but buy some more stuff, and I'll be able to do some more giveaways. And hopefully, if I make enough, the giveaways will even be free to you guys. That's my eventual goal. Unfortunately, in my current financial situation, I can't afford to lose money just throwing it into the channel constantly. That includes for, like, I can't go buy a $400 drone and just give it away for free. I don't have that kind of channel. I can't afford to just throw that kind of money away. But I would eventually like to get there. That is an eventual thing. We'll figure this out. Before we go, I'm going to show you one more thing, and you guys will get to see it. I'm not going to tease it too bad. I'm a nice guy tonight. So, come here. These guys. Yeah. So, one of these. This. If you can see this, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it up that close or not. Camera's kind of focusing. This is a gold sluice riffle mat. This is actual gold sluicing mat. Now this is just generic high-low 1/8 inch, I believe, 1/8 inch deep. So there's this, and then there's gold vortex mat. This stuff is actually pretty cool. Let me get closer, let me get more in line with the light here. This has a much better texture to it. There's really no good way for you guys to see that, unfortunately. But this stuff should be able to trap much more fine gold and some other things that even in the pay dirt I've already been using, that I've probably missed even by hand panning, because I'm really not all that great at hand panning yet. But this is pretty thick. I believe this was just over 1/4 inch for the vortex mat, and then the high-low riffle mat is 1/8 inch to 3/16 inch. It's 2.3 millimeter. I'm not going to do the conversion right now, but this stuff is crazy thin. Okay, you can take this and you can roll it up in a ball, or, you know, even tighter than that if you'd like, okay? This stuff can handle it. This, that's about all the more I can do with it. Yeah, this stuff's pretty tough. So I am designing another version of my sluice box that will incorporate this stuff in it. So I have two of these. I actually got these as single sheets, and I ended up cutting them down to a specific size. So I have two of the Vortex mat. And two of the high-low generic riffle mat stuff here. So I'm thinking something sort of like, if any of you have heard of the gold cube, which is basically a stack of alternating levels of drop off where it comes down kind of like a zigzag. And rather than, because I believe there's a patent on the gold cube, since I can't directly copy it, I'm going to take the general idea but change the design a couple different ways. And again, in line with what I've done before, make this as compact as possible. So it'll come apart. Hopefully it will nest together to become as small as possible. I do need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. Not entirely sure yet, but I have the pieces here so I can physically work with them. I do need to find a new pump. This is going to be portable. And that reminds me that my old all-in-one gold sluice that I have done a number of videos on, that and the kind that goes over a 5-gallon bucket, which I did finish and I got to use up in Michigan this weekend, or actually this whole past week. That as a complete set for both, I'm going to actually do as a giveaway. All of it, the pumps, the battery pack, obviously not the batteries, but all the slides, the riffles, the trays, the angle adjustment, the box, and heck, you know what, I'll even throw in the bucket. I'll actually go buy a bucket so that you can put it all, and everything will fit in the bucket with the lid sealed on. Then I'll box up the bucket and send you the bucket. So, everything is going to be set up for a giveaway. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to do that, but it is coming up. I need to get a few things organized here. I'm back to college again, astrobiology. I really don't like the course, but whatever. Have to do it, so. Yeah, with that, that's really all I got. And obviously, I have this stupid, huge crate. You want to know how stupid this is? Here, I'll even show you. This is my light bar. This is it just plugs into the wall right down here. That's what I'm using for all the lighting. See, this would be ideal. Ooh, phone's kind of hot. This would be ideal, but it's facing the wrong way, so. So yeah, that's all I've got for right now. I honestly can't think. You know what? I think I'll show you this real quick. Since I'm just gonna turn this guy around like this. Oh, now I actually have some decent lighting. It's amazing. All right, so these are all parts for the R2-D2, the full-scale remote control R2-D2 that my friend Drew and I are working on for the autism walk in October. I have one more piece to print, which is part of why I need to get this printer put back together and running. So I've done, I could probably use just a hair more cleanup, but all of the little pieces, and look at this. This thing's actually printed off pretty amazing. And this is all done in Matter Hackers PLA. I wanted to give Matter Hackers a try. And remember, this is all, Drew's the one that's helping me. He's the one that actually bought this filament for me to be able to use for the project. And you know what? I do like it, but in all honesty, it's maybe good for prototyping, but it certainly isn't something that I think would hold up to consistent abuse. Now, maybe I just haven't figured out how to print with it. I'm not entirely sure, but at least for these prints, I printed them a little bit slower. I printed these at 50 millimeters a second rather than the 60 I do most of my prints in. They seem to come out pretty well, actually. Let me get a finer piece here. Even here with all the little details and little ridges and things on here, it still came out pretty good. Look at that. Yeah, with almost no support needed. Now, it doesn't look, visually, it doesn't look like it's maybe quite as strong, but maybe that's because after it's printed, it looks semi-transparent. It's kind of weird. When it's on the spool, it looks solid. Once you print it, it kind of has that silvery, reflective, semi-transparent look. It just doesn't look the same as what you would think it looks like on the spool. It's a little deceiving. So I'm kind of hoping that the blue doesn't do the same thing. But if need be, I have XTC 3D, so I can brush it on and kind of make this look a little bit smoother, but it will also make it glossier. Isn't really something I want, but if he's happy with these pieces, that's great. I'll go with that. Including all of the flat parts. These things, now of course, this is the bottom, but that's pretty good. And you may be able to see this. Well, I'm not gonna be able to show you that way. But if I hold this up to the light, this thickness piece here, which I'm gonna say is a little over 1/4 inch, might be 5/8. If I look at it and hold it up to the light bar back here, I can see all the way through the part. I can see all of the internal structure. It's just, it's not what I would consider a solid looking piece. So keep that in mind if you're gonna get an Adder Hackers PLA. So yes, I have a whole mess of parts here. I was considering doing a review on the JBL boombox, which I now have. Right there. That thing is just crazy loud. Oh man, I have to play that when my girlfriend's not home because that shakes the house. Okay, you can turn, that's not even up all the way. That might be like 60% and I can already hear doors in the other room rattling. Okay, that thing is loud. But you can't convey that on a video, so that may not be something I review. So, I know I've just gone on and on and on and on and blah, 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 blah. Let me think. Is there anything else that I want to talk with you guys about now before I pack my stuff up for the night and end up... Don't yawn. Don't yawn. It's not time for that. Before I pack up and pretty much kill it for the night. It's only 10 o'clock. That's not too bad. Okay, if you guys want to head over to my Twitch channel, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'm currently working on Fallout 4 settlement building right now. I might get into some Fortnite. I just actually... I just downloaded Fortnite for the Nintendo Switch. In fact, there it is. There's Fortnite. And it's ready to go. So I might actually try that tonight. I thought there was supposed to be a system update for this that takes it to 6, but system update is available. There we go. I used to be the one that would keep my game systems back. You know what? I'm actually going to switch over. I'm going to kill this stream, and then I'm going to change some settings. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to talk about a couple other things, but I don't want to mix this up too much. So, let me just gently set this guy down right there. I'm going to end the stream, and I will be right back. But for now, Thank you for watching, guys. You can head over to my Patreon. Also check out my twitch.tv link, so www.twitch.tv/midnightninja. I've started to gain a few more followers if you'd like to see some more stuff there. Patreon if you'd like to help donate, or you can donate directly. A PayPal donation link is also on my Twitch page on the bottom below the video. And with that, guys, I promise I'll be back with some more. So thanks for watching. I will see you again, and also again here in about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'll see you again here in a minute. Bye, guys.